so I don't forget. Welcome, Sarita. Welcome, Colin. Welcome, JD. Welcome, Hanson. Welcome, Matthew. Maybe someone else to join us. If you haven't done so already, put a hello in the chat or a hi or a bonjour or whatever, and we will get started. Okay. So I'm here at school. Well, I'm thinking of it tomorrow. If anyone's interested in come in for any reason, I'll be at here about 9:15 tomorrow, Wednesday. And I plan to stay till usually at least 2:30, sometimes 3:30. And the Mac lab will be open. Of course, you can always use your school computer too. I can help you with things. It's a nice work environment. So if anyone's behind or wants to get things done, but generally speaking, the people who come to the Zooms tend to be more likely to be caught up. But if you want to come in, or you don't have to solely see me, and come see me part of the time, see other teachers, you can just work in the Mac lab on anything for any class, including mine. And I can also help. So I'll be around. If you do come looking for me, the Mac lab will be unlocked, but I won't be in there all day. I'll be next door in the broadcast studio most of the time. So you can always come over and find me here. Okay. If you don't find me here, I probably just stepped out a moment. But either way, we're going to continue with where we left off yesterday. So I'm going to click share screen here. And I'm first going to go to our class. Okay. As Google Classroom. Yesterday, I talked briefly about these two assignments here. They're, be honest with you, they're easy. Just, watch the videos, fill in the stuff, do that anytime, anywhere. Pretty easy. The main thing that's probably going to be the most challenging by far for most of you is the week 2 workbook. Now, yesterday, I asked that you guys open up a new workbook, and I showed you how to do that in Office 365. Now, you can use a regular version of Excel if you'd like. They look very similar. I was using the Office 365 version just so that we can all be in the same version, because otherwise I have a Mac version that looks a tiny bit different. Okay. So, by the way, I assume everyone can hear me fine. If you can't, make sure you unmute yourself and tell me. But what we're doing here, if you on your own you get a chance, I hope you've already seen this Excel formulas and functions, but that's a huge part of learning Excel. How do you do different formulas? How do you do different functions? Functions are special types of formulas. Yeah, we'll be getting into more. This here is just the generic notes. You should download that and keep a copy, or if you have a way to print it, print a copy. This is my tutorial of this here, but I'm going to be going over today. I'm going to be doing like a tutorial over the booklet. Not all, today I'm going to do 3 of the sheets, and then whatever we don't get to today, I will do on Thursday. And this is the data. So what were you supposed to do for today? You're supposed to, in that workbook we opened up, you're supposed to go in and put these on a sheet. So this would go on the first sheet. Okay, remember the little tabs at the bottom? You can double click that tab and rename it like bank or bank account or something like that. And this is supposed to go on the second sheet, average temperatures. This is supposed to go on the third sheet, sales volumes. Now this thing here, I'm not sure what this is. This is a mistake. But this here, you put this in. Now some of these, we're going to do together here. And then the next sheet. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not doing this one today. So if you don't have this one typed in, do it before class on Thursday. And I'll go over it on Thursday how to do it in class. And same with this last one here. Now, this last one here is we're going to use something called an if function, which is by far the most difficult function we do. But having said that, it's still relatively easy. So we'll be doing that one in class on Thursday too. So we'll save the last 2 of these for Thursday. If you already typed in the info, great. You're ahead of yourself. Okay. But I'm not going to do it right on here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go into an actual my Excel workbook. Okay, let me close this out. Okay, this is my Excel workbook that I started yesterday. These are the sheets down here. I have one called bank. I have one called averages I can click on. There it is there. I have one called sales. And I was in a hurry, so I didn't quite get everything typed in, but it won't take me long to finish that. So I'm going to do these 3 sheets with you today. Now, yesterday we started formatting this sheet here, the bank account. I showed you I do the merge and center here. And we did some formatting up here together. And then we put in these numbers. So we're going to do a little more formatting here. First of all, we're going to start with these numbers right here. We're going to highlight these. We're going to go up here in the middle, see what's got alignment. And we're going to select the middle one. At the middle one, maybe this one is. Okay, there. So now they're all lined up in the middle. Now we're going to highlight all these. Now, turn out, if it was me, I'm going to actually include this here, even though we haven't done that yet. We already had some in currency, but not all of it. So we highlight all this. We'll include our blank spots there. And we'll go up here and we'll select currency. And I don't know why it didn't do those. Let me do these because the other one's already in currency. There. Okay. Don't know why, but now this is going to happen a lot. You're going to need to go up to the top here and resize these. Okay. We don't want anything overlapping as far as spilling into the next cell or something. So make sure you overlap these. We centered these account numbers. Now, what is an account number? That's just the number on the account. That's not something we multiply or divide or do anything like that with. It's like, okay, so you got a bank account, I got a bank account. This is the number of yours, this is the number of mine, and so on. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to do a formula here to calculate the ending balance. But let me first tell you what's going on here. We don't have all the information. We have some labels up here. That's what this text is. We know there are account numbers. We know there's a beginning balance. I assume this is like a checking account. We have deposits. That's money you put into the account. We have drafts. That's money you take out of the account. And we have an ending balance. So we're going to click on this one here. All formulas, which functions are formulas too, start with an equal sign. So we're going to put an equal sign there. Now we're going to start with our beginning balance, which is, in my case, it's B7. Now, if you did yours 1 row or 2 rows different and yours is a little bit different, that's okay as long as you do it relative to where the person is counting all the money and doing all the business stuff. Okay, so we got beginning balance here. Deposits is what we add to it. So we're going to add plus, and then we're going to do this one here. So we're going to take B7 plus C7. Okay, so you got your starting money and you've added quite a bit of money to it. Now, the drafts is the money you take out of the account, like writing a check or going to an ATM. So we're going to do a minus. We're going to click that one, which is D7. Okay, so that may look like a pretty basic formula. B7 plus C7 minus D7, but that's all it needed. Takes a beginning balance, adds it to any deposits, and minus any drafts or money you take out. Okay, so after you double check it here, okay, it's going to take that. Now, you never put the exact dollar amount in. Don't put 5,000 because that could change. Maybe you start digging through some papers and you realize, oops, I wrote the wrong one in there. Well, if you just have a formula like this here, it'll automatically adjust it if you need to change this. Or maybe they just won an award and it's going to go up or something. So any of that could change. So we got B7 plus C7 minus C7. Or minus D7, which is this. Okay, now I'm going to hit return. And that calculates $7,206. Now, if I click on this right there, I can look up here and see the formula. If you click down here on money, you don't see the formula up here. Okay. Now, we want to do the same thing for these here. So you might say, Mr. Rio, we got to sit there and type that in again. We could, but there's a much, much easier way. We'll click on the one we already did. See the little handle right there on the right? Just literally drag that down, deselect. Now, here's something interesting. You get one of these and you panic. Mr. Rio, I got all number signs. It looks weird. Something's wrong. Okay, don't panic. Go to the top here. Go between your columns. I'm going to go between E and F. I put it up there. It becomes a double arrow, to help people out. And we're going to slide that over. and there it is. Okay. I deselect. Now you look around. What is this all about when we're done in Excel? We have bank account summary. We have account numbers. We have beginning balance. We have deposits. We have drafts. We have the ending balance. That's it. We're doing pretty good, aren't we? Okay, now we're going to go at averages. We just did bank account. Okay, I'm just getting the sheet out here. Okay, average temps. Now I got to put these in. Now, when I'm in a hurry, like I am right now, I'm going to click there, 44. I hit return. And I do 48. I want to be careful I do these accurately. I do 52, 48, and 50. I click here. I do 36, return, 37, 40, 38, and 42. Okay, so right now here's a few preferences here. I'm going to highlight all these titles here. I'm going to make it bold. Okay, I just like that. I'm also going to highlight these ones here and center them. Now, if I want to merge and center average temperatures, I could drag across these three columns here. And remember this from yesterday. I click here for the merge. I go to merge and center, and it does that. And also, as I've already done, I've moved this around. Now, I could drag this a little bit back. I went maybe a little too far. This here I can stretch out a little bit. And these here, I personally like them centered. So go ahead and center those. Okay, now we're going to do something here. What is this all about? We got cities that look like they're all in Tennessee. We're going to look at average temperatures. We have an average high temperature for each of these cities, and we have an average low temperature. Now, being this is Tennessee and the temperatures aren't very high, I'm guessing these are for a given month. So I'm going to click up here. I'm just going to make one up and look like for Tennessee, this is rather cold. So I will do February. Okay. So say average temperatures February. You can edit that. Now we got these temperatures here and these ones here. Now click down here and we're going to do a function. So we're going to put in the equal sign. The function for average, you literally type average like that. You can click here. It'll come up like it's going to do a function. Now I'm going to click here. Oh, now it's asking me what to average. I'm going to drag right there. So what I just dragged there, I could have written manually. I'm going to do B6 to B10. Now I have to put a closing parenthesis. This is called a range. The range always goes from the top left to the bottom right with a colon in between. There's the B6 right there. And then the clarions behind. Okay. Average B6, B10. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So you could type this manually. There are ways you can insert it, but I did it manually so you understand how it works. Equal sign, average, B6 colon B10 in parentheses. That's this range right here. And I hit return, and there is my average temperature. It is 48.4 degrees. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to center it so it goes with the other data. So I'm quite happy with that. Now I could do the same thing going down here. I can also click here and drag across like that, and it will do the same thing there. Okay. If you got any questions, just unmute yourself. It's kind of informal here. Okay, I got one more to do. Sales. Now I was in kind of a hurry when I was getting this prepared here, so I didn't put in the numbers. It'll take me just a moment. Now I don't have to type in the dollar signs in that because I'm going to format for currency. So the first one is 5 832.5 for 50. And I hit return and do 6450. And then I do 0.21. Hit return, do 3272. 0.83. And then Gallagher is going to be 3528.29. Then Jackson's going to be 4830. Going to be 0.05. Langston is going to be 6450. And going to be 20. Mancini is going to be 7325. And the last one, Dino Napoleon, is going to be 6318. And it's 0.67. Okay, so I'm gonna, this is weekly sales. First thing I'm gonna do up here, I'm gonna highlight across two of these here, and I'm gonna do the merge center. Then I'm gonna do the same thing here, drag across just two of them, do a merge and center. Okay, now for salesperson, weekly sales, I'm going to go ahead and center that. Now for this here, I'm going to do currency. I'm going to highlight all those numbers and select currency. Okay, now if I need to make any adjustments to avoid any problems, I can adjust these here. Okay, now first thing we're going to do is total sales. I'm going to show you a little trick for doing this. It's actually quite simple. I'm going to drag across there. I'm going to leave the last one blank. That goes right next to total sales here. You can only do it once lined up like this. And what I'm going to do is go up here, see what it looks like a Greek letter E. I pull down the, I could just click on there, because if I just click on it, the default is sum, or I could pull down and select sum. So there it is. What is this? You might say, Mr. Real, it happened so fast, I missed what it was. I dragged across there. I left this blank. I clicked on the Greek letter E, and this is the total of all the sales. So these people had sales, I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe for a week or a month, something like that. And that's the total. Now the high is going to be a different function. We're going to do an equal sign. There's going to be a max function. And our range is going to be the same here. So I notice how I typed the parenthesis there. I'm literally going to drag like that, and it creates the range for me. Or I could have typed B6 to B13. Okay, then I'm going to put another parenthesis. So this is called a max function. Equal sign, max, parentheses, B6 to B13. I hit return. So when I check here, I got total sales, I got highest sales. Okay, I think that's pretty much it there. We got sales. Looking it over, I'm going to make this bold up here. You can give it a color too if you'd like. This one I'll do a green. We got the people's name. We resize it, make it look professional, when need be, resize things. We got currency formatting. We got highest sales. That was just a sum function. We have high percent or highest sales. What is highest sales? I forgot to explain this. Okay, the max function goes through the range of cells. We had the range that was this right here, and it picks the one that is the biggest number. So you look next to Mancini, and there it is, 7325, 7325. So he's the top salesman. I assume maybe it's a she, could be a she, is the top salesperson of the week or the month or whatever this is supposed to be. Just to go back, our averages, we got the temperatures in high temperatures and low temperatures in cities in Tennessee. And we're going to say they're in February. And we get the average high and the average low. So in February, it does get colder there. And so And last one that we did first yesterday was banking. And we did the Merchant Center up here and did the bank account summary, spread the rest of these out. I think they're all self-explanatory. Okay. Looking through this. Okay. This one here was the one that we had to start with our beginning balance, add money to it, minus, and then we got our ending balance. It's that simple. But you got to think through the logic. So if you click on this, you can see the formula up here. This here, I'm not using the word function because we didn't put like average or sum or max up there. We just put the cell reference and plus or minus. So we just call that a formula. When we do a function, like on average, click there, you got equal sign, average, and we got the range. And the range is always top left to bottom right. Okay. So it's a lot easier than you might think when you get into Excel, but that's pretty much what we use Excel for. I'll do the other two sheets as part of this on Thursday, and we will have our book 2 done. So between the tutorial in there and the Zoom sessions and practice and getting used to this stuff, plug away at and do your best. I'll undo this here right now. Are there any questions? Okay, so we got Sarita's here, Colin, JD, Hanson, Matt. Okay, I'm going to end the recording.